Hi, Cie Peterson here. I am going to talk about something today that I feel very strongly about. I'll try and get through it quickly, but just a little bit of a tip. This is a little sophisticated and good for any actor, no matter how advanced you are. In fact, I would say if you're a more experienced actor, you might find this even more useful because you might be forgetting this. You're playing someone who's very different than you, very different, and very different in ways that you disapprove of. Maybe the person does things that you don't like and you would never do, and you're talking about your character and using words like, oh, she's a real bitch. I'm playing a real bitch. Or you're a guy and you're like, oh, this dude sucks. He's awful. I cannot say to you strongly enough, you cannot do that. There's a cliche you might have heard over time. Cliches are cliches because they have truth to them. That's how they become cliches to begin with. That you have to love the character you play. I don't agree with that. I don't think you have to love the character that you play, but you do need to be able to stand authentically, truthfully, committedly, and wholeheartedly inside that person's shoes. And as soon as you start using pejorative terms to talk about your character, you're not going to be able to do that. And so there's going to be some element of you standing on stage and communicating to the audience, whether it's a sound stage and communicating through the camera, or whether it's a theatrical stage and communicating with the people who are right there in front of you. I am playing this person, but I would never do these things. There will be something about what you're doing that speaks to the distance, to the chasm that you want to establish between you and this person that you find reprehensible. But you cannot do that, because once you do, you cannot give full voice to this person. And I would argue that if you find the person that reprehensible, it is more incumbent upon you as an actor. In fact, it's one of the noblest things that we as actors do, to let that person speak with full force, with full vigor, and show that person in a way that the people watching will find that person reprehensible, and they will make their own decision that this is not a way they want to be, not a person they want to be like, or not a person that they want to be with. But you can only do that if you commit fully and wholeheartedly to that person and that character. Here's a good example that I can give you. Years ago, I was working on a scene study with a couple of teenage gals, both very, very good actresses. And we were doing a scene from The Children's Hour. It's the scene where Mary, if you're familiar, who's quite a precocious and mischievous and troublemaking young girl, has an unexpected visitor come to the house, and it's another girl who on the surface is quite a nice girl who's being victimized by Mary, to be quite honest. Mary's blackmailing the other girl to make her do her bidding. The girl who plays Mary was having a hard time, and she was saying to me, but she's such a bully and she's so mean. And I started asking her questions about why Mary behaves that way. And when I asked her the questions from her own humanity, and there are a few things you can do that are more wonderful as an actor than bring your own humanity to a role, which is why you want to engage in character analysis and ask yourself questions. And it's in playing the bad guys that we find ourselves really pushing those questions to get to our own humanity, to understand why this person does what he or she does. Anyway, I was asking this young woman questions about why Mary does the things she does, and ultimately she looked at me and said, she's very lonely. She's alone, no one pays her attention, and she needs to do these things to get attention. And I said, well, can you understand that? And she said, yes. And she started to actually feel bad for Mary for being so unloved and feeling so desperate for attention. I said to her a platitude I know and I believe, which is, we would all rather be praised than punished, but we'd rather be punished than ignored. And Mary would rather be punished than ignored, so she does naughty things. And once she did that, she started to embrace the character and really feel strongly and wanting to stand inside her shoes and speak for her. You as an actor must find your way in to every character you play through your own humanity. Ask questions. If the person is reprehensible, ask why the person might behave that way, and keep working until you find a way that makes sense to who you are, where you can say, maybe if pushed to the extreme, I would do this for the same reason that this character is doing it. that will get you into the character. It will allow you to speak truthfully in his or her shoes. It is, I believe, one of the noblest things we do. It's why we as actors sometimes can understand different behavior more than other people. And it will unlock a way into the character that I cannot say how important it will be for you, especially if you're standing there and judging the character and standing outside of him or her. So I hope that helps. It's kind of a sophisticated thing, a little more advanced in your acting technique, but I think you'll find it to be very useful. Thanks for watching. I hope maybe we can work together one day. If you're in my area, remember, Clouds and Waffle Productions is always seeking good audition material for some of the new projects that we have coming up that I'm producing and directing. And I'm always available to just talk to you as a coach or even just as a person. So you can reach me, c@ciepeterson.com, c@cloudsandawaffle.com, and I wish you great success with the roles that you're working on. Thanks for watching.